roads without power. 2 people are in the hospital after a car crashed into a utility pole in Raleigh. How long the lights could be out and how it could affect your morning commute.
A small chance for storms today. I'll let you know who will see them and when they'll arrive.
Manhunt ends. Today, the man accused of killing a Virginia deputy will appear in a North Carolina courtroom, where law enforcement officials found him after a days-long search.
At 6 a.m. here on your Monday, June 1st, we have a lot to get to as we're kicking off this month and this week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Levine and for Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lemongood with plenty of caffeine this morning. Was on the struggle bus getting up this morning, but that's all right because I'm ready to lock in on the beginning of the work week. We do have a look at your weather forecast this Monday morning with Elizabeth Gardner. That next weather maker, we have rain in the forecast. Talk about it.
We do. It's just a small chance. We have a cold front that's up to the north that's going to slide southward for today and bring our southeastern counties a small chance for rain. It's only a 30% chance. A couple of thunderstorms could pop up south and east of Raleigh. It's a pretty start this morning. We have some lingering cloud cover, and you can see some holes in those clouds too as we take a look across Wake County toward Garner. 68 is our temperature, but our dew point's down into the 50s. And when it's in the 50s in June, it feels very comfortable. It's going to be hotter than it was yesterday. Yesterday we hit 81. Looking at 87 for the high this afternoon, again with just that small chance for storms. Our next chance isn't until Sunday, so this is going to be a very dry period. We'll talk more about where our temperatures are headed over the next several days coming up. Chris?
Elizabeth, we're going to take you to some breaking news we've been following since the overnight hours. This is at 5 points where the traffic light is out due to a crash. But the one road that's closed right now is portions of West Whitaker Mill Road. That's where we find Ali Kadalbar in the breaking news tracker to see what progress is being made so far this morning.
And I do want to show you that the lights are on. They're blinking, though, and so it does look like traffic is flowing here on Glenwood Avenue. There are some people that are slowing down. There are some cones out here, so you're just going to want to take it slow if you are heading this way. But West Whitaker Mill Road is the problem area. That's where we're seeing all the crews work to replace that utility pole that's hanging down, and that's where that crash happened earlier this morning. You can see in this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker that car flipped upside down, debris scattered all over the road. The traffic lights were out for several hours. Now, 2 people were taken to the hospital with serious injuries and knocked out power to hundreds of Duke Energy customers. Now that number is down to 150 customers. Now, power is expected to be restored around noon, so this could be a very lengthy process. If you are headed this way, definitely going to want to make sure you're aware and you're taking it very slow around this area, especially these areas that are closed and have a lot of activity. Chris, anything people should be aware of as they head out the door this morning?
You know, outside of that, there's nothing that's really happening so far, and you can see why that's going to take a long time to recover with all the crews out there. So thank you for that report. As we give you a live look at I-40 at Rock Quarry Road, things starting to pick up, but everything's flowing smoothly in both directions. And as we take a broader view, there's really nothing that's going to make you late at the current time heading into downtown Raleigh. It's one of the benefits of being up this early. But if you plan on heading on the road within the next 2 hours, we've got you covered when things do get congested on the radio. That's on 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Happening today, the man accused of shooting and killing a Virginia sheriff's deputy will appear in a North Carolina courtroom. Michael Puckett there on your screen was arrested last night in Mount Airy after a days-long manhunt. Puckett is accused of shooting and killing a deputy in Carroll County, Virginia. This happened Friday evening. Law enforcement agencies across Virginia and North Carolina spent the entire weekend searching for him. The FBI says that Puckett was armed with a handgun when he was arrested. He's being held in the Surry County Detention Center ahead of his hearing today.
A Wakeman police officer facing kidnapping and assault charges is scheduled to make his first court appearance today. An arrest warrant accuses 39-year-old Jeremy Bond of kidnapping and terrorizing a woman. Investigators say that he grabbed her by the arm and collar, held her at gunpoint with a rifle, and used a box cutter to cut through her shirt. And he's also accused of taking her cell phone to prevent her from dialing 911. Wake Med confirmed Bond was employed as a police officer and says that he was suspended immediately after being arrested.
Tonight, an increase to your Wake County property taxes could be approved. Local leaders are planning to make a final decision about the county budget today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Wake County Justice Center, where commissioners will meet later today. And Kelsey, to put all of this in perspective here, we know the average homeowner in Raleigh could pay $90 more in property taxes next year.
Yes, Laura, Wake County homeowners would be seeing the impact of those higher property taxes in 2027. Tonight, county leaders will meet here at the Wake County Justice Center to make that final decision. Wake County Manager David Ellis proposed a $2.3 billion budget. It comes with a 2-cent property tax increase. That would mean the average homeowner in Raleigh would pay $90 more. Earlier this month, Ellis called the upcoming fiscal year, quote, the most challenging one yet. He said without the extra revenue, the county would need to make significant cuts, including slashing funding for education, reducing operating hours, or scaling back program investments. Leaders are scheduled to meet and make their final decision tonight at 5 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
All right, we're counting down now for puck drop for the Stanley Cup Final. The Hurricanes will face the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow night at Lenovo Center in Game 1.
Yeah, a lot of people are looking at this timer going, go faster, go faster. Well, ahead of Game 1, we are asking state leaders about the sky-high prices that people are paying for Hurricanes tickets. As of this morning, only resale tickets are available via Ticketmaster, and most tickets for Game 1 are well beyond $1,000, even for seats in the highest sections. Tens of thousands of people got on the website over the weekend to try to get tickets, and people we spoke with say they were shocked at how high the costs were.
In the queue, I was 38,152 yesterday when I tried to get tickets. Did finally get in, and the resale was like $1,400. So unfortunately, we're going to go to the watch party and cheer on the Hurricanes, hopefully for a victory.
See, once you pass that 1,000 threshold, maybe 10,000, that's when it's like, So we reached out to Ticketmaster asking about how ticket prices are set and if bots were detected during the Canes sale. Well, the company deferred us back to the Carolina Hurricanes for that. So we reached out, and Hurricane CEO Brian Fork responded to us. He says the team has a 4-ticket limit per purchaser for each game, and they diligently monitor the sales process to ensure tickets are securely purchased by fans. And we also reached out to the North Carolina Attorney General's office. We asked, has the AG's office received any complaints from fans about the ticket buying process, and is the AG's office currently looking into any of those complaints?
And looking ahead to games 3 and 4 of the Stanley Cup Final in Las Vegas, the Hurricanes have announced that they plan to host watch parties for all road games in the series. Specific details on the watch parties have not been released by the team just yet. But you can count on WRAL, of course, for complete team coverage of the Stanley Cup Final. Tomorrow, we'll take you live to Lenovo Center throughout our evening newscasts and after the game, both on air and online. There's also much more Carolina Hurricanes coverage on the WRAL YouTube page. We have a playlist of the team's run-up to the final. It includes post-game interviews, reaction from fans, and analysis from our sports team.
Well, we are following new developments overnight in the Middle East. The U.S. and Iran have exchanged strikes as they are dealing with negotiations of a peace deal there. We know that Iranian negotiators are going over a number of proposed changes to a possible peace deal with the U.S. In fact, President Donald Trump sent back the latest agreements to Iran over the weekend. The president wants stronger terms on Iran's nuclear commitments, and he also wants Iran to pledge to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says that its rights must be secured before any deal is approved. Iran also says money needs to be a part of any agreement, which is something President Donald Trump says is not being discussed. Meanwhile, gas prices here locally have seen a decent drop over the past week. According to AAA, the average for a gallon of regular in Raleigh is around $3.93. It's about 25 cents cheaper than it was last week. In the Durham Chapel Hill area, it's about $4.06, and in Fayetteville, $3.73. Starting today, some of the 18 American cruise ship passengers exposed to hantavirus will be allowed to return home, but they will still need to be quarantined for the next 3 weeks. The states in which they live will be required to post a police officer or a public health worker outside their homes 24 hours a day, and that is during the remainder of the quarantine period. Right now, all the passengers are being quarantined at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. At least 2 of them have asked to finish their quarantines at home.
Happening today, a new rule takes effect in Holly Springs that cracks down on e-bikes. The town council unanimously passed an ordinance regulating the use of e-bikes. It covers other electric personal travel devices as well. The ordinance emphasizes that pedestrians have the right of way on sidewalks, side paths, and greenways, and that riders of electric-powered devices must alert others when they plan to pass. There will be fines for repeated violations, and police would have the authority to impound e-bikes that are being used in ways that violate the rule. Also happening today in Durham now, county leaders will be hosting their annual gun lock giveaway. Starting at 10 a.m., you can stop by the Durham County Courthouse to pick up a free gun lock. The event is done in collaboration with organization NC Safe. That event will last until 2 p.m. A plan to reduce summer crime in Raleigh takes effect today as well. The Raleigh Police Department's 2026 Summer Action Plan aims to strengthen enforcement. This includes in key areas such as nightlife districts, transportation hubs, and parks. It comes after a string of incidents downtown, including the recent shooting outside the courthouse. Police Chief Rico Boyce credited last summer's action plan for a decrease or no change in crime. This year's plan runs throughout the end of August.
Your time is 6:10 this Monday morning. Victims recovered. What happens next in the investigation of a tank implosion in Washington state that killed 11 people?
And mental health awareness. PGA Tour winner and Raleigh native Grayson Murray was honored at the UNC Health Championship. How the tournament is raising money for a good cause 2 years after his death. Elizabeth?
It's a comfortable start to the day, but we do have a small chance for showers and thunderstorms in part of the viewing area. I'll let you know if you're included coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
.614, our next weather maker is this cold front that'll drop in on us this afternoon. It's going to bring a few isolated showers and thunderstorms to our southeastern counties, but it's only a 30% chance. This is not going to be a big weather maker. We're not really going to add up much in the rain gauges for it today. We still need some rain, of course. It's a beautiful sunrise across our area. We're seeing a mix of sun and clouds, and you can see that here at RDU with that pretty glow there over Terminal 2. Our temperatures are comfortable. It's 68 in Southern Pines and Raleigh, 65 in Wilson, and 61 in Goldsboro. Our humidity is fairly low this morning, so if you like to get out and get your exercise done this time of day, it still feels nice out. It will be a little hotter this afternoon than it was yesterday. Yesterday, 81, looking at 87 today. But tomorrow is looking gorgeous behind this front. I'll show you how much cooler it will be. Chris?
Elizabeth, looking forward to that. Maybe you're looking forward to a flight out of town. We just showed you RDU. Let's show you the roads around the airport. And there you see I-540 at Aviation Parkway. Everything is pretty quiet, at least on I-540. There's this one car off to the side of the road that's got its hazards on. So just give it some room if that's going to be part of your commute this morning. There's really nothing that's making you late heading to the airport, including Glenwood Avenue. That's where we've got a crash at 5 points. We're going to get a live look at that crash coming up in less than 5 minutes.
Chris, thank you. After a 5-day-long search, all of the bodies from a deadly plant implosion in Washington state have been recovered. All 11 victims have been recovered and identified at the plant in Longview. They were killed after a chemical tank imploded. The search effort took several days after a corrosive chemical solution began spewing out of that tank. Investigators are now turning their attention to figuring out what went wrong.
Well, happening now in the WRAL Live Center, I want to bring your attention to this story right here in the WRAL Live Center. You can see what I'm talking about. It's hard to bring up that video that we're talking about, but it's a wall of dust clocked at 79 miles an hour that engulfed an entire city in Harbin, China. It's in the northeast section of that country. As soon as I get more information about it, I'll bring it to you, but I really want to bring you this story. But give me a few minutes, and I'll come back to you and give you a better view of that wall of dust, because it's incredible.
See that. Thank you, Ken. Meanwhile, in Raleigh, Alvaro Ortiz is the UNC Health Championship winner after finishing atop the leaderboards yesterday. But before he hoisted that trophy, family and friends gathered on the 10th tee to remember Raleigh native Grayson Murray. The PGA Tour winner died 2 years ago by suicide, and his effect on the game and the community, it remains strong. Murray's mom says the support shown continues to be such a source of comfort for their family.
It just reinforces in my mind the support that Grayson had, especially, like I said, in the 919 area code. And he loved this town. He loved these people.
And people who were there observed a moment of silence before sharing memories of Murray's life and legacy. A portion of the proceeds from the tournament also went to the Grace and Murray Foundation, and that supports mental health services. While we're talking about this, look at that number on your screen. Folks, there is help available 24/7 if you know someone or maybe you yourself are experiencing mental health issues. You can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. You can also find county-by-county mental health resources on WRAL.com. Well, nearly 1,700 athletes from across the state spent the weekend competing in Raleigh, Cary, and Morrisville. Yesterday was the final day of the 2026 Special Olympics North Carolina Summer Games. That three-day event featured 8 sports and plenty of memorable moments, showcasing determination, teamwork, and sportsmanship.
All right, checking in on the forecast. If you're just waking up, stepping outdoors, you will notice it's a bit mild out there. Elizabeth, when I left my house, it was already 70 degrees this morning.
Yeah, it feels real comfortable out there. Our dew point's on the lower side, so it doesn't feel as sticky as it will probably once we get to the weekend.
Right.
But we take a look outside, and it's nice and quiet. We do have a mix of sun and clouds. This is a look down Fayetteville Street toward the Capitol building, and you can see a little daylight showing up, shining against some of those clouds. 68 is our temperature, but our dew point's at 58, and anytime we're in the 50s with the dew point this time of year, it typically feels a lot more comfortable. Here comes our next weather maker. It's not likely to bring very much moisture along with it. We have some moisture sitting off the coast of South Carolina, but it's not going to make it all the way here when that front comes through. So there's not going to be a whole lot for the front to work with. This is 10 a.m. and as we go through the day, you can see partly cloudy skies. And right there at noon, just along and east of I-95, we have a few showers that pop up. There won't be a whole lot of that, but Goldsboro, Clinton, Fayetteville, that'll be the area where we'll have the best chance of maybe 1 or 2 cells popping up with some brief heavy rain. Looking ahead to Wednesday through Friday, a low develops along that front that becomes stationary, but it stays offshore. The only impact we see from that is some rip current danger along the coast. So if you're headed to the beach Friday or into the weekend, keep that in mind. Once we get past today, we are dry, and of course we still need a lot of rain. Here's how much we could see. It definitely looks a little bit better closer to the coast, especially near that low that could develop. A quarter of an inch in Fayetteville, maybe a half an inch closer to Wilmington, but from the Triangle area northward, it's going to be minimal. So where are we sitting right now? It is the driest year to date at RDU. So far this year, we've had 8.3 inches, but that keeps us at a deficit of almost 9 inches. So we still have a long way to go across our viewing area. We do have some pretty weather in our forecast, though. 87 today, but then the 78 for tomorrow. And of course, it's the first game of the Stanley Cup Series at the Lenovo Center, and the weather looks great if you're going to be out there tailgating. Lots and lots of events happening before the game. Thursday, it looks nice and quiet as well, but check out the weekend. Oof, some summer heat into the mid-90s. Chris?
And Elizabeth, we're going to take you to that breaking news we've been following all morning long. This is the crash at 5 Points that sent 2 people to the hospital. It's got part of Whitaker Mill Road closed. Let's give you a live look at the progress that's being made there. You see a number of power crews, especially on Whitaker Mill Road. Again, this is a crash that sent 2 people to the hospital. We have the breaking news tracker on scene. We'll get a more comprehensive report from Allie Cattlebar coming up in just a little bit. But in the meantime, let's take you onto I-87 at Knightdale Boulevard. There you see the lanes coming toward downtown Raleigh, getting a little more congested if you're heading eastbound rather, as you get toward Knightdale. Things aren't too bad, but the delays right now, hardly any. We'll let you know when that changes on 101.5 HD3 on the radio.
And keep us tuned in all morning long. Thanks, Chris. Your time is 6:21 this Monday morning. Saving at the grocery store. You may be overpaying for the grocery store items you're buying and not even realize it. So 5 on your side will share the grocery chains with the best deals and where you could end up spending more.
Plus, rural health warning, the major changes that could soon impact communities across North Carolina.
Well, it looks like major cuts to North Carolina's healthcare industry could be just months away. You see, President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act cut $1 trillion from Medicaid, and rural areas disproportionately rely on Medicaid. Well, North Carolina has the second biggest rural population in the country, and the cuts are expected to siphon billions of dollars from our state's economy. That could lead to layoffs or even hospital closures, especially in rural areas.
Why is it that we're like the underdog here of always fighting for rural health care when that's what the majority of our state actually is?
And so our NC Capitol team interviewed top leaders from the state on both sides of the aisle about this. You can learn more on what they're anticipating when the cuts hit and what solutions they're looking into at WRAL.com.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
A young director made a big splash at the box office and the celebration of a Hollywood icon.
Okay, let's go ahead and dive on in with What's Trending.
The psychological thriller Backrooms has made history after its debut in theaters over the weekend. The film brought in $81 million, good for the top spot last weekend. It was directed by 20-year-old Kane Parsons, making him the youngest filmmaker to reach #1 at the domestic box office.
And the horror movie Obsession finished second place at the box office with $26.4 million. The director of that movie and Backrooms, both YouTubers. It's really cool to see the Backrooms happen. I cannot wait to watch it. It's what's called liminal horror, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's just like big wide open spaces or closed spaces, just like the Backrooms. It's chilling.
I've just been really interested in seeing all the discourse online about what's happening. So yeah, definitely one to see. And of course, we're talking about Marilyn Monroe's birthday.
Yeah, in fact, today is that day. The late Hollywood star would have been 100 years old, and it was a record-breaking celebration over the weekend in California. What you're seeing is video from a Marilyn Monroe look-alike event in Palm Springs. People there say there were more than 1,000 people dressed in white dresses and wigs. That event set the record, the world record, in fact, for most people dressed like Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, I love it. The previous record was 254, which was set in Australia in 2020. This event in Palm Springs helped raise money for Palm Springs Pride and the LGBTQ+ community.
Yeah, so it looks like a very fun event.
Yes.
All right, right now your time is 6:26. Crash cleanup. 2 people were sent to the hospital after an overnight crash on Glenwood Avenue. We'll get you a look at the damage that's affecting power in that area and a little bit to the morning commute.
And budget decision. Wake County leaders are set to vote on the new budget for the upcoming fiscal year. How this vote could affect you.
And it's a championship round of the soccer tournament this evening. There is a chance for some late day showers and storms. Most of that's going to be in the southern part of our viewing area. We'll let you know if you'll get some of that rain coming up.
Oh, and hey, we do have a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers right here on your screen.